Hello friends, welcome to the Fundamental Pharmacy. I have come up with a new video for you, and this video is going to be very important for upcoming GPAT and Niper along with Drug Inspector Government Pharmacy. Please watch this complete video. Today we are going to discuss important points from Drug Regulatory Affairs, because you see one or two questions they can ask from this Drug Regulatory Affairs, so we have to cover this portion. If you like the content of this video, please like it, share with your friends, comment, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon so that you will get a notification of coming videos. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start the session. Regulatory, the important points from regulatory affairs. Okay, so those are important points can be asked in the exam. First is different countries and their regulatory agencies. So every country has its own regulatory agency for the regulation of import and manufacturing, then approval and sale, clinical trials, pharmacovigilance, etc. For all these kind of functions, every country has its own drug regulatory agency. Okay, what are the common functions? There are certain common functions of drug regulatory agency or drug regulatory authority, which are the licensing of medicine, then pharmacovigilance, then regulating the clinical trials. So clinical trials also regulated by particular authority of regulation of homeopathic and herbal medicines, then inspecting and maintenance of standards of drug, inspecting and maintaining the standards of drug development and manufacturing. Okay, every activity which revolve around the drug, that is controlled by drug regulatory authority. So first one is your USA. So USA means United States of America. So in case of United States of America, you have a US FDA. So US FDA, US Food and Drug Administration. Food and Drug Administration, that is known as the US FDA. So US FDA will regulate all the activities that revolve around the drug in the USA. Okay. Then second one is your UK, United Kingdom. Okay, United Kingdom. The regulatory agency is MHRA. MHRA means Medicinal and Health Product Regulatory Agency. Medicinal and Health Product Regulatory Agency. Okay. Australia country will have TGA, that is Therapeutic Good Administration. That is the regulatory country. That is the regulatory agency. So in the Australia Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA will regulate the laws and norms regarding the drugs, cosmetics, nutraceuticals. Okay, so in Australia, drug is categorized under therapeutic good. Okay, so drug is called as a therapeutic good in Australia. In Australia, TGA will activities which revolves around the drug. In case of India, India has a CDSCO, that is known as a Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Okay, so in India, regulate the all activities of drug in the India, right from import of new drug, licensing of new drug, then manufacturing, then pharmacovigilance of that, all the activities which will revolve around the drug, that can be regulated by CDSC India. Okay, so CDSC is a drug regulatory agency of India, Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Okay, it is under the Directorate of General Health, which is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Okay, so India will have CDSCO. USA has a USFDA, UK has a MHRA, Australia has a TGA, CDSO means India. Okay. In case of European Union, in case of EMA and UDQ. EMA means European Medicine Agency and European Directorate for Quality Medicine. So these two will regulate every activity of medicine in the European Union. Okay, every activity revolving the drug. Again, for China, NMPA. China has a NMPA. NMPA means National Medical Product Administration. Okay, National Medical Product Administration is for China. Actually, previously it was a CFDA, China Food and Drug Administration. So now China Food and Drug Administration has renamed National Medical Product Administration. Similarly, Japan has a PMDA. So PMDA means what? Pharmaceutical and Medicinal Devices Agency. Okay. So in the Japan, Pharmaceutical and Medicinal Devices Agency will regulate all the activities of drug. In Canada, it will be Therapeutic Product Directorate in the health. That means for the drug, it will be TPD, Therapeutic Product Directorate, and for food, in case of food, it will be HPFB, Food Branch of Health Canada. Okay, Food Branch of Health Canada. In case of France, we have, in case of France, we have French Agency for Safety of Health Product. Okay, so French Agency for Safety of Health, French Agency for Safety of Health Product. Okay, so actually this AFSSAPS is the French language. It is called as AFSSAF. Actually, it has a long form in the French language, and that is translated as a French Agency for Safety of Health Product. Okay. Then again, Germany. In case of Germany, you have Federal Institute for Drug and Medical Devices. Federal Institute for Drug and Medical Devices. Again, in the in the German language, it is known as BFARM. In the German language, it is known as a BFARM. Okay, that is Federal Institute for Drug and Medicinal Devices. Now for Brazil, National Health Surveillance Agency, ANVSA. For Brazil, it is a ANVSA. For Brazil, it is a ANVSA, National Health Surveillance Agency. For Switzerland, it is Swissmedic. In case of Singapore, Science Authority is there. HSA. HSA is the regulatory agency for drugs. This was all about the different regulatory agency in their countries. Okay, so again quickly revise. US FDA is for USA, MHRA is for UK, TGA is used for TGAA is for Australia, then CDSCO is for India, then EMA and EDQM is for European Union, then for China NMPA, or then for Japan PMDA is there. For Canada TPD is there. Okay. For France, French Agency for Safety Health Product. For Germany, Federal Institute for Drug and Medical Devices. Then for Brazil, it is a National Health Surveillance. For Switzerland, it is a Swissmedic. For Singapore, it is a HSA, that is Health Science Authority. Now we will see few important terms revolving around the regulatory IND, NDA, ANDA. We will try to understand these terms because these terms can be asked in the exam. Even the last year there was a question orange book. Okay, so we have to be clear about this. So IND, what is IND? IND is a investigational drug application. Okay, IND is nothing but the investigational drug application. So investigational drug application means what? It is an investigational new drug application. If you want a legal permission to test a particular drug, particular synthesized new drug on the humans. In the short, if you want to conduct a clinical trials, then you have to file IND application. Okay. So investigational new drug application, a application to FDA. It is an application to FDA for a legal testing of a new drugs on human subject in US. Okay. So it is an investigational new drug application for the legal testing of new drug on human in US. Okay, so it is known as a IND, investigational new drug application. NDA means what? New drug application. So what about it? So a new drug application means it is a new drug application. So it is also one of the application made to FDA. Application made to FDA to market a new drug, or pharmaceutical and sell in US. Okay, so new drug application is what? It is application to made to the FDA for to market a new drug or pharmaceutical or sell in US. Okay, so in that condition, if you are going to apply for NDA, then you have to submit a preclinical as well as clinical data to the FDA along with application in the prescribed format. Okay, so it is also a application to US FDA to market a new drug or pharmaceutical to sell in US. Okay, so along with preclinical trials data and clinical data, you have to submit along with application in prescribed format. Okay, if you want to file a NDA. Okay, then again there is another term known as ANDA. Okay, it is known as abbreviated new drug application. Abbreviated new drug application is also for FDA to get a grant for a generic version of drug. Okay, so it is applicable only for generic version of drug. For example, if a company has a monopoly, or if any company has its patent, okay, and after expiration of patent, other companies can also formulate the similar formulation. Okay, So that is known as abbreviated new drug application. That means after the expiration of patent, the generic will come, and generic will be manufactured or will be formulated by any country, any company. Okay. So for that, to make a generic version of drug, you need to submit ANDA application to the FDA. Okay. So ANDA is nothing but the abbreviated new drug application. Okay. So what do you have to submit along with the application? You have to submit the bioavailability and bioequivalence studies data. Okay. So in case of NDA, you have to submit all clinical and preclinical studies data. Okay. But in case of INDA, there is no need to submit preclinical and clinical data because it is already there, because you are not applying for new drug. So it is already there, and you just going to apply for its generic version. Okay. So for that, there is no need to submit clinical and preclinical data. Just you have to submit bioavailability and bioequivalence studies data. Okay. So you have to submit this application to the FDA. Okay. And FDA will give you 180-day exclusivity. Will give you 180-day exclusivity. Means after submission of your ANDA, 180 days will be there. If anyone take objection, you have to reply them. Okay. So they will publicly give notice, publicly give advertisement in the newspaper and various channels. If within 180 day, if there is no objection taken on your formulation, then you can get grant to ANDA. Okay. So 180 day means market exclusivity. So 180 day exclusivity for the first generic applicant who challenges the listed patent by filing the paragraph 4 certification, and thereby runs a risk of having to defend the patent infringement suit. Okay. So जिसने भी इसको ANDA को अप्लाई किया है उसको 180 डेज का विंडो पीरियड मिलता है. उस पीरियड में अगर किसी ने ऑब्जेक्शन लिया कि नहीं यार ये मेरा है, तो उसको फेस करना पड़ता है. तो 180 days इज अ विंडो पीरियड. ओके. अगेन नेक्स्ट वन इज ऑरेंज बुक. सो ये ऑरेंज बुक जो है ये 2020 में आया था जीपैट में. सो इट वाज इन 2020 जीपैट. सो व्हाट इज ऑरेंज बुक? सो इट इज अ what is orange book? It is a official title approved for the it is a official title approved drugs with official title approved drug with therapeutic equivalence evaluation. Okay. So official title approved drug with therapeutic equivalence evaluation. So it is what is orange book? Orange book is nothing but orange book is a list of approved drug. Okay. List of approved drug in US. List of approved drugs in US with therapeutic equivalence evaluation. Okay. So those drugs for which therapeutic equivalence has been evaluated. So orange book is the list of those drugs. So orange book is the official title approved for drugs with therapeutic equivalence. So it is known as orange book. It is known as orange book because the cover of book was orange when it was originally printed version. Okay. So first printed version of this book was having orange cover page. That's why it is known as a orange. US FDA list of all approved as a safe and effective drugs. So orange book has list of officially approved drugs with therapeutic equivalence evaluation, safe and effective. Okay. Safe and effective. So it is a one of the authorized source for drug, and it is a authorized source of drug with therapeutic equivalence of drug product. Okay. So therapeutic equivalent for ANDAs, new drug applications, then therapeutic equivalence for over the counter OTC equivalent for ANDAs. Okay. So in this book you will find a therapeutic equivalent codes. Okay. So code A given. A means what? Therapeutic equivalent codes. A means what? A means the list of drug which are substitutable. Means the substitute of these drugs are available. In case of A, therapeutic code A, therapeutic equivalent code A will be given to those drugs which is a substitute means you can do substitution to those drugs. Code B is given to those drugs which are not substitutable. Okay, so there are codes in orange book. Okay, so A and B. A means what? List of drug those can be substituted, and B means what? List of drug those cannot be substituted. Find lot of information on orange book. In case of orange book, or in orange book itself, there is a green book. Okay, so what is green book? In green book there is a list of drug authorized for which generic version is available. List of drug authorized for which generic version is available. Okay, so orange book is what? Official title approved for drug with its therapeutic equivalency evaluation. Okay, and green book is what? In addition to orange book, there is a list of generic version available. List of drug authorized for which generic version is available. That is covered in the green book. So this is not covered. This was not covered in the orange book. That's why there is a green book. So list of authorized drug. List of authorized drug which generic version is available. Okay. So this is a green book. Then again there is one book, blue book, called as a blue book. There is one more book known as a blue book. So what is in this? So FDA requirement of laws and regulation enforced by US FDA. It is a discontinued from October 2002. Okay. So there is one more book, blue book, known as a blue book. So this blue book is a list. This is a list of requirement of laws and regulation enforced by US FDA. List of laws and regulation enforced by US FDA or given by US FDA. It was in a blue book. Okay, but the blue book was discontinued from 2002, so it is not available now. It is a discontinued. Okay, so another terms you must be aware about this. That is a Hatch-Waxman Act. Okay, so Hatch-Waxman Act. So Hatch-Waxman Act. Actually, it is a synonyms. Actually, it is a synonym for Drug Price Competition Patent and Restoration Act. Drug Price Competition and Patent Restoration Act. Okay, so Hatch-Waxman Act is nothing but the synonym, or it is another name for Drug Price Competition and Patent Restoration Act 1984. Okay, so this Hatch-Waxman Act was a landmark for generic drug in the USA. So listen, after expiration of patent, the act was coming in force. Using this act, generic drug maker can file ANDA. Okay, can file ANDA for the approval of generic drug. Okay, using this act, generic drugs makers can file ANDA for approval of generic drugs. Okay, paragraph 4 of according to the paragraph 4 of the act, the generic drug maker will be allowed 180 days exclusive. Drug maker will be allowed 180 days exclusivity to the companies that are the first to file an ANDA against the holders of patent. Okay, there will be 180 days exclusivity after filing the ANDA, so that the patent holder will not take an objection, and if you take an objection, then you have to face it. Okay, so Hatch-Waxman Act is a amendment to the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act within established modern system of approval of generics. Okay, so Hatch-Waxman Act is a approval for the generic version of drug. Okay, so it is a synonym for Drug Price Competition and Patent Restoration Act 19. Because of this act, you are able to file the ANDA. Okay, abbreviated new drug application. So ICH guidelines. See, this is also very important. So you must know about the ICH guidelines. So what are the ICH guidelines? So ICH means what? International Conference on Harmonization. So ICH means what? International Conference on Harmonization. International Conference on Harmonization. ICH guidelines. ICH guidelines, what are they? International Conference on Harmonization of a technical requirements. Technical requirements. It is a guidelines. ICH guidelines means what? They are the guidelines for technical requirement of pharmaceutical for human use. Okay. So technical requirement of drug for human use. So they are. It is a list. It is a guidelines given by International Conference on Harmonization. Guidelines given by International Conference on Harmonization for the technical requirement for pharmaceutical product or pharmaceuticals for human use. Okay. So first ICH guideline was published in April 1990. Remember, first ICH guidelines was published in April 1990. Okay. Then this ICH guidelines, they are accepted by several countries. Okay. They are accepted by several countries, but mainly followed by US FDA. Okay. Mainly strictly followed by US FDA. There are four types. There are four types of ICH guidelines. That is quality guidelines, then safety guidelines, then your efficacy guidelines, and multidisciplinary guidelines. So there are four types of guidelines given by ICH. That is a quality guidelines, then safety guidelines, then efficacy guidelines, and multidisciplinary guidelines. Okay. So each their description. Okay. So we will see one by one. We are not going to take everyone. Just what is important. We are going to take that. So quality guidelines and safety guidelines, they are very important. Okay. So quality guidelines and safety guidelines are very important. So quality guidelines, see, safety, they have given numbering from starting from safety means yes. Okay. And quality guidelines, they have given number from Q for quality, yes for safety. Okay. So Q1 is a stability testing. Q1 is a ICH guideline for stability testing. Then Q2 is a for analytical validation. So if you want to do analytical method validation, then you have to do according to the ICH guideline. ICH guideline Q3 is for impurities. Q4 is for pharmacopoeia. Q5 is for biological products. Q6 is a acceptance criteria for the test procedures. So whatever test procedures are there, for example, dissolution, disintegration, then assay, content uniformity, related substances, all these tests, whatever the acceptance criteria is, that you have to decide according to the. Then we will see what is Q7. So Q7 is a good manufacturing practices. Q7 is a good manufacturing practices. ICH guideline Q7 is a good manufacturing practices. Q8 is a pharmaceutical development. Q9 is a risk management. Okay. So Q8 is a ICH guideline. Q8 is a pharmaceutical development. Q9 is a quality risk management. QMS, QRS, QM. Then your Q10 is a pharmaceutical quality system. Then Q11 is a development and management of new drug substances. Q12 is a life cycle management. Q13 is a continuous monitoring, and Q14 is a analytical process development. These are the quality guidelines. Now we'll see what are the safety guidelines. Okay, so quality guidelines, they have Q1, Q2, Q13 up to Q13. Q means quality, Q for quality, and safety guidelines S1, S2, S3, S for safety. Okay, so safety guidelines, in the under the safety guidelines, S1 is for carcinogenicity studies. Okay, then S2 is for genotoxicity studies. For example, if any drug has a potential of carcinogenicity, so the studies should be carried out according to the S1 of ICH guidelines. Okay, ICH guideline S1, carcinogenicity study. If any drug has a potential toxicity to the genome, then it should be carried out according to the ICH S2. Then S3 is the toxicokinetics and pharmacokinetics. S4 is the toxicity testing. S5 is a reproductive toxicology. Okay. S6 is a biological product. Again, and S7 is there. S8 is there. S9 is there. S10 and S11. So S9 is for pharmacological studies. S10 is for S7 is for pharmacological studies. S8 is for immunotoxicological studies. S9 is for non-clinical evaluation. S10 is for photo safety evaluation, and S11 is for non-clinical pediatric safety. Okay, so this was all about the safety guidelines, ICH safety guidelines. Okay, ES1 to ES11 ICH quality guidelines, ES1 Q1 to Q14. Again, efficacy guidelines are there, but I think that is not much important. Efficacy guidelines are not much important as far as our exam point of view is concerned. Okay, so that might be important for another context, but we are taking only whatever is important for GPAT, Niper, drug inspector, government pharmacist. Okay, so efficacy guidelines are mostly they are related with pharmacovigilance and clinical trials. So you should know what is efficacy guidelines. So efficacy guidelines are mostly related with clinical trials and pharmacovigilance. There are also 18 guidelines, E1 to E18. Okay, so these are the ICH guidelines. Okay, now we'll see some ISO standards. Okay, so ISO standards, these are also important. See, ISO standards, because you see, I think there was a question in 2018 or I think 2019. There was a question ISO 9000. Yes, there was a question in 2019 itself. Okay, so we'll see it. So ISO standards. So ISO means what? ISO means international standards for organization. Okay, ISO means what? International standards for organization. So ISO, they used to give standards, they used to give certification for the maintaining the quality. Okay, ISO used to give the certificates for maintaining the quality of product, whatever it may be. It may be pharmaceutical product, it may be your household product. So ISO marking should be there. ISO means international standards for our international standard on or organization, international standard for organization. Okay, so they are the standards where they are accepted by a variety of countries. So okay, so first ISO was started in the February 1947. Okay, so ISO was started in February 1947. So international standard for organization, actually it is independent non-government organization. Okay, it is accepted by 163 countries. It has published around 1000 it has published around 19,500 international standards. It has published 19,500 international standards, and these standards are for every industry. Okay, so one more important point is here, headquarters of ISO. I think this was also one of the ones they have asked in the GPAT. Headquarters of ISO is situated at Central Secretariat in the Geneva. Okay, so headquarters of ISO is in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, so headquarters of ISO is in Geneva, Switzerland. Remember this. So okay, so in India, BIS is there. In India, BIS is there. That is Bureau of Indian Standard. Okay, Bureau of Indian Standard. Bureau of Indian Standard. That is known as Indian ISO. Okay, so it is known as Indian ISO. Bureau of Indian Standard. Okay, so headquarters of ISO is in the Geneva. Okay, remember, headquarters of ISO in the Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, and Indian ISO is nothing but the BIS, that is a Bureau of Indian Standard. Bureau of Indian Standard, that is Indian ISO. We will see different ISOs. So ISO 9000. ISO 9000. This was asked in GPAT 2019. ISO 9000 is for quality management. Okay, remember, ISO 9000 is for quality management. ISO 50001 is for energy management. ISO 31000 is for risk management. So probably this year they can ask about the risk management. ISO 31000. Then ISO 22000. ISO 22000 is for food safety management. So if you got a certification of ISO 22000, that means you have ISO 22000 certification means what? So you have all the safety management for the food. Okay, so restaurant will get a ISO 22000 Your pharmaceuticals are there. If you are running a pharmaceutical unit, you must have to get ISO 9000. Okay, quality management system. Okay, so likewise that country codes are there for ISO 3166. Then ISO 27001 is for information security management. IEC 27001 information security management. Then again ISO 20121, it is for sustainable events. So 20121, that is for sustainable events. Then again ISO 1400 is for environmental management. So this ISO 9000, that is quality management system, also has a different year wise ISO. So ISO 9001 2008 is for set of requirement for the quality management system. I think same question was there. ISO 9001 set of requirement for quality management system. Okay, this is very important for GPAT. Then again ISO 9000 2005 is a basic concept and language. Okay, ISO 9004 2009 is a focus on how quality of management system can be efficient and effective. So remember this, ISO 9004 2009 is the focus on the how quality management system can be most efficient and effective. It's very important. Then again ISO 19000 ISO 9011 to 2011, that is a setup of standards for internal and external audits for quality management system. So this one is also important. Okay, so at least you must remember this ISO 9000, then ISO 31000. Okay, ISO 5001 ISO 31000, ISO 50001, that is energy management. Then this ISO 1400 environmental management, ISO 22000, that is for food safety management. Then ISO 9001 2008, that is a set of requirement for quality management system. This is very important. Then this ISO is not much important. This ISO 9004 2009. Okay, this is very important. It focuses on how quality management system can be most efficient and effective. Okay, so this was all about the ISOs, different ISOs. So this different countries and their regulatory agency, that is important part. Again whatever I have explained the terms, the regulatory affairs regarding what is ANDA, what is the orange book, what is blue book, what is the green book, then what is the Hatch-Waxman Act, that is also important. Then ICH guidelines are important, whatever we have discussed. Then that ISO standards are very important. Okay, in the I think the OECD guidelines, if I have not made a video, I will made a video on OECD guidelines, so that is also very important. Okay, so they might ask one or two questions from these topics. Okay, so you have to be clear about it. Okay, so thank you very much for your watching the video. And अगर ये आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगता है, ऐसे ही अपकमिंग वीडियो में अगर लेने आप चाहते हैं कि मैं और वीडियो बनाऊं, so please like video, share with your friends, comment, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon.